before we get into the questions, we're going to do the opening now, correct? I'm getting it. Okay, so I can't go ladies first, so I'm going to go in the order that they put them on this piece of paper. And Ms. Watson, you'll be up first.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I apologize for sounding like a mild squeaky toy. The weather has not been kind to my voice, but I promise I'm not sick. It's okay. She shifts over 3 feet. My name is Laura Watson, and I am running for judge for County Court at Law Number 3. This is a family specialization court which incorporates our child welfare docket. I am board certified in family law, which makes me more than qualified to be able to manage this court. If I miss a word, somebody just raise a hand or something. But in the process of doing this, one of the most important things that I think we all need to understand and realize is a court is a business. For 12 years, I worked in corporate America prior to doing what I call an early midlife crisis and going to law school. In the process of working in corporate America, I was able to learn how to manage not only hundreds of staff members, but also multi-million-dollar budgets. This court is a business. The tax dollars, your tax dollars, are what we manage as part of our budget. I'm the only candidate that has ever done that. I think it's also important to understand that I am the only candidate in this race that has managed a successful law practice right here in Montgomery County. I've worked side by side with the people within our county, people like you, as well as, more importantly, our children. Hundreds of children serving as their voices within the private sector to try to help them go through the trauma of a family law case as they have gone through and experienced those things with their families. It is important to understand that I'm also the only candidate that has served within our community for the last 12 years. I've been members of various civic organizations, volunteered with various groups, and more importantly, served on multiple boards that serve the needs of children. I've been doing this for an extended period of time. I did not start when I was campaigning, and I'm here to run for Judge Laura Watson, County Court at Law 3, because I'm here to serve you, the people of Montgomery County. Thank you.
Good evening. I want to thank East Montgomery County Republican Women and this huge crowd. Thank you so much for coming out. It's an honor to be here. I am Judge Amy Tucker. I'm currently the judge for County Court at Law 3. And County Court at Law 3 is one of our 3 family courts. It's a specialty court. All of our courts have gone to specialty courts. And we're also the designated child protection court, which means I handle all of the court cases for all of the foster children in the county. I am the first judge in the history of the county and one of few, if any, in the state who specifically asked for all of those cases. I have worked in child welfare law for my entire 20-year legal career. First, I worked for the county attorney's office for former county attorney David Walker, and then I was appointed as the associate judge for this court in 2012 and worked as the associate judge for 8.5 years and handled all of the child protection cases in our court till my judge retired and I was appointed on July 1st. I'm double board certified in child welfare law and in family law, and I am passionate about these cases. It took a long time to bring them to County Court at Law 3, and I have a clear vision for this court, which is that I want to give these cases the attention that they deserve, and I want to bring the highest level of expertise to them. I'm one of the top experts in the state of Texas in child welfare law, and my associate judge, Judge Jack Riley, who's not here tonight, but he has 27 years of family law experience and has also been board certified in family law for 15 years. I think the two of us bring an unrivaled level of expertise and commitment and passion to this court. And I'm asking for you to continue me in this position so that we can make a real difference. Thank you so much.
We have to share. Okay, Judge Tucker, this question's for you. CPS cases follow a strict timeline. Can you explain how a case is filed, moves through the system, and how you schedule cases to make sure you are meeting statutory requirements?
So every CPS case that is filed requires a minimum of 5 hearings in the first 12 months. And we stick to those statutory guidelines we are very rigid about that. When I first when the case first comes to me and the department is appointed as temporary managing conservator, I give all the dates for the rest of the case. We are required to resolve these cases in 12 months. There are now some exceptions to that rule. Those exceptions keep getting expanded by the legislature. But our goal is to resolve these cases as quickly as possible. Every step of the way, I ask the question, does CPS still need to be involved? I hope at every step of the case that we can have the family resolve this matter without state intervention. I think that best serves our children and best serves the court.
With regards to CPS, I think one of the things that we need to understand within this court is the number of cases that that constitute the CPS docket, and that is approximately 150 cases. The way my opponent has described the format within that, she is correct. The goal is to have those cases over within 12 months. There are times and extenuating circumstances under specific requirements of the code where that can be extended. The problem that we're having right now is if it goes past 12 months, we are losing the opportunity to be able to get federal funding back into our county. The problem we have right now with our CPS docket is it is averaging between 14 and 16 months to get closure in these cases. Not to mention there have been a few that have gone past the 18-month timeline. What we need to do is focus on getting closure with these cases, moving forward with these cases, being able to get these families reunited, which should be our primary focus. Unfortunately, right now we have one of the lowest family reunification rates, not only in the state, but also in the nation. The children, our primary focus should be to return them to their families. Only 69 to 70% of the time is that happening, and that should be a concern for all of us. One of the other things that we have to look at is how can we improve our caseloads and our dockets. Granted, this question is dealing with CPS, but please understand that 20% of the caseload for the rest of this court manages approximately 3,400 cases. So we have to be able to look at it from a structure of how do we manage this entire court incorporating that CPS caseload. And I believe personally part of that is to hold CPS accountable, make sure that they meet their timelines and their deadlines. Right now that's not happening. We need to have efficiency in getting closure for these families and be able to move on and do it within the guidelines and the deadlines so we can maximize any type of federal funding that might be available to our county. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Watson, this question is for you. Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night thinking about a case, wishing you had handled something different? If so, please describe that situation.
That is a loaded question. Sadly, it happens more often than not. In terms of a specific case, I'll be honest with you, there's countless of them. And I'm always looking from a standpoint of what more could I have done for that family. About 9 years ago, I shifted the majority of my practice, about 70% over it, to representing the voices of the children. Understanding what those kids are going through when they're caught in the middle of mom and dad, as I say, good people on bad behavior. The children become the pawns. The children become the price tag of mom and dad getting whatever it is they're looking for in that divorce or that modification. By focusing on that and focusing on those children, I've learned every day how it is so important that we make them our priority and keep them out of the middle. So in terms of do I wake up at 2 and 3 and 4 in the morning? You betcha I do. Because I'm worried about how do I get that baby into a better place? How can I come up with a way that I can do more for these children and get out there and protect them, get them into an environment, or sometimes something as simple as just say, Mom and Dad, wake up. And sometimes in this role, when you're serving as the voice of these kids, It gives you the opportunity to sit them down and say, this is unacceptable. You don't have to go into a courtroom to get an answer. What you need is to look at perhaps some mental health services that can be out there. Let's get into a co-parenting class. Let's get into reunification, something where you can remember what this baby and this relationship with your child is about. And unless you've done it and been in the trenches with those babies, you can never fully understand what that means. I'm the only candidate that has gone to the private sector and stood side by side with these kids and with these parents as they've gone through their trauma. Thank you.
Okay, so I often wake up in the middle of the night and think about the cases that we deal with. And just to give you a little bit of background, I started when I was 26 years old with the county attorney's office in their child welfare division. And within the first 6 months, I believe, that I was in that job, I had a case involving a 7-year-old boy who watched his father murder his mother. And it just changed my whole worldview. So these cases are very, very difficult. I often, when I go home at night, I think to myself, how will this child's life be in 5 years based on what happened in court today? Will it be better life? I do disagree with the numbers that Ms. Watson has given to you. I don't think she's analyzing the data properly at all. And I think if you ask any of the people who actually practice in my court, the attorneys, all of the COSTA advocates, the professionals that help these children, the foster parents, the aunts, uncles, cousins, all of those people who are taking care of these broken children, they will tell you that since I took over this docket, it has improved drastically. I'm the first judge who has actually taken the time to make these cases a priority. And every day I take the bench and I make them a priority. And every day I go home and I try to focus on the good and try to push the bad aside. Because if you focus on the bad, you're not going to be able to do this for very long, I can promise you that. So my unequivocal goal, I want you to know, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, is to make sure that all of our foster children are in the best possible place where they can have the best chance at a life filled with love and hope and happiness.
That's all the questions that we have submitted. Again, I'm not going to make up any questions, so we'll go ahead and move to the closing. And if you want to add an extra 30 seconds or so, you can. I think you.
Like we're back in Jack in the Box mode. So the key thing that I think that is important for everyone to understand in this race, if you want to know what the stats are, you can go to the website for the Office of the Court Administration. That's where I get my numbers from. It's a state website that anybody can go on and look. It will show you what the numbers are for this court. The important thing is we need to remember that one of the biggest factors that all of us have to keep in mind is Montgomery County is one of the fastest growing counties, not only in our state, but also in our nation. That means right now with roughly 623,000 residents out there, each and every one of you, hopefully you don't need it, but if you do, you need access to that court, you need efficiency within that court, and you need consistency and fairness of the application of the law. Right now, only managing 20% of the family law cases that come through in Montgomery County alone. Again, this court is managing between 3,300 and 3,400. That's residents like each and every one of you. We can talk about CPS and how that's 80%, and yes, it's tragic when we get to the point that they have to have court intervention. But we also have to remember that not only do those families need access, the rest of our county needs access as well. We need to be able to get these cases closed. Our families cannot heal until we get them out of the courtroom. And that is our obligation as the judge, is to be able to guide that and manage that courtroom so that when we get those cases in, we get them disposed of and we get them out. Finally, the application of the law must be consistent and fair. It should not be treated one way for one type of case, for example, a CPS case, and then applied differently over here for a family case. It is our job to serve you, the people, from up here in this job as a judge. It is our job to provide the structure and the design and the course that you guys can have so you can have closure and move on. This is our job to serve. You need to remember that this particular position, no one has been elected. It is time for the people to speak, and it's time for the people to choose. Thank you.
So I have devoted my entire 21-year legal career to public service, and 20 of those years has been for this amazing county. I came here just on a wing and a prayer when I was 26 years old to come work in the Child Welfare Division of the County Attorney's Office because I knew that's the kind of work I wanted to do. And I have loved every second of serving this county. I have met amazing people, and most everyone in the county knows me, and they know my reputation for hard work and integrity. I have been endorsed in this race by District Attorney Brett Ligon, Constable Chris Jones, Constable Ryan Gable, the Republican Voters of Texas PAC. I'm one of the highest rated candidates ever with the Montgomery County Tea Party. I've been endorsed by Danny and Angie Sigarelli. I've been endorsed by Commissioner Robert Walker. I've been endorsed by former Commissioner Mike Nutter. And these are all people who know that I have served this county, and I've done it with passion and courage and commitment to the foster children of this county. And I don't want to move this court. I want it to stay right where it is. We worked so hard to get it where it is. Nobody else wanted these cases. I stood up and said, I want these cases, and I'm an expert in them. Please let me handle them. My unequivocal goal is to create one of the very best child protection courts in the country. And at the end of April, my associate judge and I will be 2 of 17 judges in the country who are certified in TBRI, which is a highly reputable, widely known trauma-informed care. And that's our goal. And I thank you so much for coming out, and please come talk to me if you have any questions. Thank you.